All right, guys, welcome back to the city. I know it's been a little while since we've done an update, and we have some new updates to cover today, so it should be a pretty exciting video. Now, before we head to the studio, I did want to mention that we have rolled out a bunch of new builds on our website recently, which has honestly been taking a lot of our time and unfortunately away from the city, but super cool builds have been coming out, and we have a ton more planned, such as a brand new modular airport. The instructions aren't out yet, still working on those, but there are instructions for the new gate. This new airport is going to be a new design, similar to the old one in the sense that it's very modular and accessible, but the parts are going to be focused on newer parts, easy to find parts, and cheaper parts. So overall, it should be a much cheaper build for you guys. Outside of that, we have some new military builds, as well as new, what we're calling mini modulars. These are smaller format stores that have incredible access points where you can basically access the entire interior. The roof comes off, the back comes off, all built in. They have fully built out interiors, so you don't have to buy separate part packs. And these are gonna be super cool and easy to add to just about any city. We started with Star Bricks and 1111 with more on the way. And the great thing about these is, like the airport, they're designed to use commonly found parts and pieces. So when you order the instructions, it shouldn't be as expensive as some of the other builds out there. With Lego prices going up kind of through the roof lately, we've been really focused on trying to get part costs down for you guys. So hopefully these new builds help achieve that. You can find all of these and more on AFOLstore.com. But now let's shift focus down to the Lego studio. So the first thing to show you guys and what we've kind of been working on lately is putting together this brand new standing desk with new parts area. If you recall, this used to be a shelving system back here, but now we have kind of a new build area with shelves. You can see that we're still doing some organizing, which is why there are open spots. And then up above are extra bins. A little risky out here in California with earthquakes, but we'll see how it holds up. But what's cool about it is a standing desk. And so when it moves up, so do all of the drawers and the stuff on top. And it just makes for a really nice building experience because we all know that the back can get sore when you're building for a while. So this should help alleviate some of that. But now let's talk about the city, which is what I'm sure you guys are waiting for the most. So the city's really starting to fill in lately. And if you follow us on our other social media platforms, then you probably know what I'm about to talk about next. And that is our tallest skyscraper that we've ever built, ever. And it's finally in the city. Introducing the US Bank Tower, which is modeled off the US Bank Tower in downtown LA. It is by far the tallest building we have ever built, and it has a crazy part count. We're not gonna release instructions just because it's super expensive, but it looks absolutely amazing in the city. It was a tough one to figure out because of all the different angles and the curvature of the building, as well as the different balconies and stuff as you go up. Also, the crown on top was pretty difficult as well. But it stands just slightly taller than the Wilshire Grand building, just like real life, and the Aon Center is the third tallest building in downtown. But looking at the city as a whole, it's really starting to fill in and actually start to feel like downtown LA. We've shifted the skyscrapers around a little bit, and that's probably gonna continue to happen until we figure out their final resting place, but loving how the skyline's turning out. And again, unfortunately, just given the cost of bricks, we're not gonna release instructions for this one. But if you're curious about building one for your own city, we do have a micro scale version that we may release. So we'll think about putting that one on our website. Now, the US Bank Tower is not finished. If you look closely, the crown at the very top, it doesn't fit properly, so we need to rework that. We like the overall shape, but there's just some gaps, and I think it's the one area that needs to be rebuilt. So we're gonna focus on that in the next couple of weeks. But outside of that, we're very happy with how it came out, and it adds some really nice height to the skyline. So moving on, let's talk about this area. Obviously some cleanup that needs to happen, but got the construction crews out because we are talking about building some stuff down here. The freeway is just about finished. We're waiting on some parts to fill in the last remaining gaps. But for the most part, it is complete, which is great. We're gonna populate it with cars soon and other vehicles. The train station or the tram station for the metro line is now finished as well. Just got to add the street vendors to the back portion here where the dark tan is. Start working on that soon. This is one of our older designs, kind of modeled off one of the old city sets. It was in our previous city. If you guys haven't seen it, we just changed the colors basically for LA. But behind the tram is the Shell station, which was absent from our city for a while. It had actually broken during the last city move, so we had to rebuild the whole thing, but honestly, it came out great, and we're loving how it looks mixed in with the street life. Obviously, still a lot of minifigs missing, and we're gonna be adding those over the next couple weeks as well. But now that the core city is starting to come to life with all the skyscrapers, the next focus is gonna be cleaning up this area, getting hopefully that freeway figured out in the back, and then putting some smaller buildings over here. And coming over here This is the Freeway area. As you can see, it's really starting to come together. That's not the final resting place for the diner, honestly, just sitting there for a moment because we are out of shelf space, but that'll change soon as well. All right, so moving on to the Santa Monica area of the build. So like I mentioned before, we do have a new apartment building plan for right here. We're still finishing the design and then we got to order bricks, but that'll be going up right there next to Skyloft. It's probably going to be just slightly taller than Skyloft, but still figuring that out. And then over here, there's going to be some smaller kind of mid-height buildings that go in where the cranes are. And the goal for this area is basically going to be like a transition. You have like the smaller and mid-height buildings down here that'll then transition into the taller downtown LA buildings, just as they do in real life. But obviously we are tight on space, so it's going to be of a more abrupt transition than you'd find in real life. But regardless, it should look really good when it's all filled in. So with Santa Monica coming together, obviously this corner, once the apartment building is built, will be finished. That will leave kind of this bulk area over here. The police station modular and the bins of cars are just sitting there. They're going to move. There are some white and other cool buildings in Santa Monica along the beachfront. Well, not the beachfront, but Ocean Avenue, which faces the beachfront. So we're going to kind of replicate that here, just like real life. We already have the tallest building in Santa Monica added, so the others will be a little bit smaller. So you'll still be able to see the build more in the back. Now, let's start talking about the mess down here. So this area is all new. And if I step back, I'll show you a better view. So sorry about the clutter. Obviously, we are tight on space. We got some of these new tubs to start kind of packaging everything and getting everything organized again. But basically, this is going to be the beach layout. And what we did was we added this table over here, and that's going to serve as Santa Monica Pier. You can see kind of the Ferris wheel as placeholder. And then we've got the little roller coaster over here. We're going to try and create like a small amusement area, just as you would see in the actual Santa Monica Pier, and basically the beach will be down in front. That's going to be a huge project and probably one that's a month or two out while we focus on some of the other builds, but really excited with this new shape, and I think it's going to work really well. So outside of getting organized, that is pretty much it for the city. It seems like getting organized is always a constant battle with Lego cities. So again, apologies for the mess, but again, we are very tight on space here. So anyway, still coming along nicely. We're really excited with how the city's turning out. If you could do us a favor and buy some instructions to help fund more brick purchases, that would be much appreciated. Literally all of the sales go straight into funding the city. So we really appreciate everybody. And thank you so much to everybody who has downloaded instructions thus far. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy the updates. We're super pumped on the new skyscrapers. We think they look really good, and it really does look like downtown LA. So really excited with how the city's coming out and can't wait to share more updates with you guys.